today we're going to be doing another book haul video. I should really stop buying books because I just have to pack them, but I packed all of my other books and then I needed something to read, so I bought books. This is a terrible idea. So a lot of these are actually going to be packed in my suitcase because the way we'll be moving. So these will actually be like carried with me on our trip. So yeah. In which case I should have bought smaller books, but I didn't. Here we are. Okay. I had no intention of purchasing this book, but I had just finished this book, We Say Never Again, reporting by the Parkland student journalists, and it was beautiful and I cried my way through it. So I walked into the bookstore and this was like front and center, and I just felt obligated to buy it. Like, I don't know, I shouldn't have, but I did. So this is survivors from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas share their stories. I think that this book was TV and newspaper journalists, and then this is like the yearbook team. I don't know. But look how freaking cute this setup is. They did it kind of like journal style. So you have like pictures and like notebook style. I don't know, it's really cute. The presentation of it is really cute. And even the like design of the book is kind of like an old school notebook design. Next book, another Mary Roach book. I know you're stunned to hear it. This one is Gulp. Apparently, you can listen to most of this book for free online on YouTube. You can find this. So my husband started listening to it, and of course, it's like the one Mary Roach book I haven't read that he starts reading. So then I had to buy it so I wouldn't be behind. In 1968, on the Berkeley campus of the University of California, 6 young men undertook an irregular each chapter, which I think is fun. So the chapter of this one is Big Gulp, How to Survive Being Swallowed Alive. And then the picture is a man holding it, or an elephant holding a man. Yeah, I'm excited for that book. Okay, next. Simon versus the Homo sapien agenda, aka Love Simon. If I can do this, okay. You can find online for free, but I just couldn't find this one, and I've wanted to read it since I saw the movies. Here we are. It's a weirdly subtle conversation. I almost don't notice I'm being blackmailed. We're sitting in the metal folding chairs backstage, and Martin Addison says, "I read your email." What? I look up. Earlier, in the library. Not on purpose, obviously. You read my email? Well, I used the computer right after you, he says, and when I typed in Gmail, it pulled up your account. You probably should have logged out. I stare at him dumbfounded. He taps his foot against the leg of his chair. So what's the point of the fake name? He asks. Well, I'd say the point of the fake name was to keep people like Martin Addison from knowing my secret identity, so I guess that worked out brilliantly. I guess he must have seen me sitting at the computer, and I guess I'm a monumental idiot. He actually smiles. Anyway, I thought it might interest you that my brother is gay. Not really. He looks at me. What are you trying to say? I ask. Nothing. Look, I don't have a problem with it. It's just not that big of a deal. Except it's a little bit of a disaster, actually. Or possibly an epic disaster. Depending on whether Martin can keep his mouth shut. I edited curse words out, that's why I laughed. This is really awkward, Martin says. I don't even know how to reply. Anyway, he says, it's pretty obvious that you don't want people to know. I mean, I guess I don't, except the whole coming out thing doesn't really scare me. I don't think it scares me. It's a giant holy box of awkwardness, and I won't pretend I'm looking forward to it, but it probably wouldn't be the end of the world, not for me. The point is, I don't know what it would mean for Blue, if Martin were to tell anyone. The thing about Blue is that he's kind of a private person. The kind of person who wouldn't forget to log out of his email. The kind of person who might never forgive me for being so totally careless. So this book is roughly 303 pages long. And it's kind of about what happens if you're forced to come out. And all of it's angsty teen bathroom mascots. But the door opens, letting in a burst of music from the club. This is not a bathroom you can enter discreetly. A stall door clicks shut just as I'm opening mine. I step out. So I think the upside of Unrequited is about a girl who's had like a dozen crushes and she's never told anyone about them. Which sounds equally cute, but I'm gonna read this one first. I adored the Love, Simon movie, but mostly I just wanted like the decor of that film, and you know, like the $6 million mansion that goes with it. But yeah, aesthetically it was a cool movie, and like I liked the rest of the movie too. Oh, my phone's asleep. Okay. So since I finished, what was it called? The Hot Zone. I was in the mood for another Virus City book, so we got the Virus Center. And apparently we got a student's note card to go with it. I don't think it's a very helpful note card, but you know, if my computer would focus. No, okay. Well, they think interesting things happen on page 156 and 158. We shall see. Okay, Dr. C.J. Peters has been on the front lines of our biological battle against hot viruses around the world for 3 decades. In the course of that career, he has learned countless lessons about our interspecies turf wars with infectious agents, called in to contain an outbreak of deadly hemorrhagic fever in Bolivia. He confronted the despair of trying to save a colleague who accidentally infected himself with an errant scalpel. Working in level 4 labs on the Machupo and Ebola viruses, he shows time and again why expensive high-tech biohazard containment equipment is only as safe as the people who use it. Because of new emerging viruses and the return of old vanquished ones, for which vaccines do not exist, there remains a very real danger of a new epidemic that could, without proper surveillance and early intervention, spread worldwide virtually overnight. Dun, dun, dun. I actually think this author was mentioned in maybe The Hot Zone, I don't know, in another book. It has maps. There's just like a quotes page at the beginning. Life is short, the art long, opportunity fleeting, experience treacherous, judgment difficult. The physician must be ready not only to do his duty himself, but also to secure the cooperation of the patient, of the attendants, and of externals. Hippocrates. He that will not apply new remedies must expect new evils, for time is the greatest inventor. Sir Francis Bacon. The pursuit of an idea is as exciting as the pursuit of a whale. Henry Morris Russell. And I know I really like whales. I love beads of secrets. So, I read like the first chapter of 2 or 3 of these virus style books when I was at the bookstore, and they all pretty much started out with this kind of concept, which is nice, but it made it hard to decide Melissa George. I was actually looking for Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, like the prequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, but they didn't have that, and I still wanted like a scary movie, so I took what I could get. And I actually really like this version of the movies. Also, all of these movies were $2. Which is always nice. Cheap movies are the best. Next, we have The Skulls. I've been on like a late 90s, early 2000s movie kick for like a month now, so this was like required viewing. For those of you who don't know, this is about the secret society at one of the Ivy League schools. So it's kind of like, you know, in the news now because of the tuition or admissions scandal. So really, I'm just trying to be up to date and not just watching old classics. The stars Joshua Jackson of Dawson's Creek fame, for those of you other 90s kids, and he was in Fringe. I don't know what else he's been in lately. He was in The Mighty Ducks.